So in the continuation of the pressure testing Aikido series, today I'm going to look at Aikido versus Haymaker. So a few ideas on how this question can be approached, some of the issues with that question that I experienced while training Aikido, and also some of the solutions that potentially came up during my training. To begin with, I'll start off with looking at my favorite Aikido technique. So the technique started from a so-called attack called Yokomen Uchi. So if my wife stands where she is, my arms are in front, I raise the arm, I step forward and cut diagonally. Nice, she's blocking in the right way. So if my wife does the attack, now again, issues with the traditional Aikido training that I experienced while doing my training is you have a very specific setup which limits your adaptability, your spontaneousness. But now we started by traditional training. So my wife will have to switch her feet. She's wearing boxing gloves, so she wouldn't hurt me because she likes to hurt me. So she's going to step and with the back hand just cut diagonally. So try that. So, okay, no, she's doing a haymaker straight away. Okay, but now, so what I want her to do, and this is again the trouble with Aikido, very specific attacks. But so raise your arm up above the head, step in and cut like with a sword here. So this could lead to whether it's a sword attack or just a staff, a stick, and you're hitting it like this, or let's say if we take this foam noodle, you want to hit with it, that would apply, that would work. Or if it would be a bottle, that would make sense. So one of the approaches is, So one of the approaches here is the receptive one, which I'm really not giving too much consideration. So when my wife attacks me in the way that I showed her, so she steps and I receive here and I continue the attack, but then she could strike, and there's a whole discussion here, what would work, what wouldn't work. But actually the approach that I like, so if she does that Yokomen Uchi, I use what we call in Aikido tegatana. Tegatana is this fully extended arm with extended fingers. So my wife attacks me in that same way, and bam, I enter here, right? So now she's... So this entry, so we stop here for a moment. So now from here, the traditional technique would be I grab the arm, I do an ikkyo, which again, I'm not giving too much consideration about. I could pass that arm through and make a wrist throw, but the issue is here, obviously no one is going to stand there, but that entry of stopping the person does have, in my experience, in my thought of line, it has potential. First of all, what I learned from the spear system of self-defense is this is a very strong position of the arms, so even if I would attack my wife and she gets those arms out towards my arm, so I'm attacking and she gets her arms there. If she holds them here, she's in a very strong position. So this is a nice kinetic chain all the way from the back through the arms. What's called the tegatana, the sword arm, has the potential to really, even if you're a smaller, weaker person and somebody does the attack, you can actually stop them with it. But now, the same technique, the same concept we can apply to a haymaker. So the issue with Aikido in most dojos, the dojos that I trained for sure, and a lot of dojos that I saw or had contact with, do not train defense against a haymaker. While a haymaker is one of the most common attacks of street fights, of a self-defense situation. It's kind of this natural, chaotic, just going out through adrenaline, through the arms, just swinging. And if you look at fights on YouTube, if you look at street fights, it's like 80-90% of it is just haymakers. So you want to get used to dealing with that. Now the issue is, some of my instructors that I trained with actually said, well, if you can deal with a Yokomen Uchi, then you can deal with a haymaker. And I agree on a slight level, but not really at the same time. It's a different attack. So a Yokomen Uchi is, the line is diagonal. Haymaker is more or less, it's more round. And so while in general I would not agree 100% that it's the same, and I feel if you want to get used to dealing with a haymaker, you have to train against a haymaker, but that same principle I feel really works. So if my wife is going to now throw a haymaker, so really tries to hit my head, just swinging with that arm, just swinging that arm. So here, right, so again, let's start with one arm. So she does it with one arm, and bam, so I'm here, I really block her nicely with those kind of Aikido arms. And now from here I could continue. Technically in Aikido you should go for a wrist lock. I mean you could enter and get that leg under, which could be considered like an Aikido variation. So again she does this haymaker, and I can go for the neck, block her legs, and do this kind of an iriminage variation, which kind of works. I don't think it's super high percentage, but still. What would make more sense in a self-defense situation, in my perspective, so she attacks with an arm, I block it, and then I go for a strike. I go for a knee. I could go for some kind of a lock, but then I would not disregard an elbow, a fist, a palm. So it would make sense to continue from there, because obviously she's not going to stop there. So what's nice here is that, again, if nobody's going to just throw this one punch and stop, there's a big chance she's going to continue. But in that position, I'm fairly safe even for the next strike. So let's see, she does one haymaker and then another one. From here, I'm more or less defended. From this position, I can block my other parts, and then I can enter in and either try to bring her down, strike her, or do whatever I need to do. So it's a nice position. So again, if she goes for haymaker, at the same time, it doesn't matter which arm it is. I can go for both arms. So she attacks with any arm, and I throw in, I go out with those arms, and then I can come in. Obviously, it's easier for me, she's smaller. But also, this is easy to learn. This is a natural reaction of wanting to respond against a strike, against some inspiration that I'm taking from the spear system, from the spear PDR system, the instructor's course that I finished through. So let's see if we switch, and I ask my wife, if I would ask my wife to do this kind of receptive going in movement, which wouldn't really work so well with the haymaker, if I would ask her to do that, it would take trouble. She would need to think about it. It's a complex motor skill. She would have trouble responding to that. But now, if I ask her just to let those arms out, just to throw those arms out towards the haymaker, protecting herself, it's a natural movement. She's going to really pick it up quickly. So she knows what to do, right? Get your arms up. Again, a good concept. And let's start slowly. I go slowly. Bam, she goes more or less. Okay, she caught it. We go a bit faster. I give a bit more energy. I do a haymaker. Bam, there you go. She's pretty safe. Again, one more. I try to go, and bam. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean I would not hit her. She does need some practice. But it's not a complex motor skill which she needs to really spend a lot of time training, but it's a skill which can quickly be adapted, quickly learned, and it can save your ass. So this is one of the most favorite concepts, principles that I discovered in Aikido, that I see a potential in. Let me know in the comments whether you see a potential in it. Let me know what you think about haymakers and how to train them through Aikido. But hopefully this gives you some inspiration and ideas to work on as you continue to pressure test your Aikido.